In 1938, the Fair Labor Standards Act passed the United States Congress, and it was the first time that we had a federal minimum wage that applied to most industries. And what I've done is I've taken that law and I've taken all the increases that we've had to minimum wage. This is again the federal minimum wage, so not states. Some states have higher minimum wage laws than the federal level, but you can't have anything less than the federal level, all the way up to what it is currently, which is $7.25, and that took place in 2009. That change was instituted in, it was 2008, and it instituted into 2009. So what I've done is I've taken the federal minimum wage, and that's what's charted here in the blue line. And we can see that the minimum wage has been increasing steadily over time. It kind of flatlines when the bill is in effect, and then it's been increased from time to time. What we want to do, though, is take into account that there have been changes in prices. What do we know since 1998? Well, we know that in 1998, 25 cents could buy a lot, right? 25 cents could buy a lot of goods, and a lot of things, a lot of consumption. Today, 25 cents wouldn't buy you all that much at all. So we want to go through when we want to solve for minimum wage. And what is the formula? I'm sorry, we want to solve for the real minimum wage. We want to adjust for inflation. And that's what the CPI is here. I went out to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. We've got the CPI, average annual CPI for 1938 all the way through 2014. And so we can see if we get here towards 100, the base year is right here in between 1983 and 1984, just for our comparisons. So what is the formula that we use when we think about this to adjust for inflation? If we're going to put something in today's dollars, and I've marked this as 2009, I did that because that's the first year that the $7.25 level was in place. So we're going to use 2009 as the base year. To do this calculation, we then take the amount in the original year, and we multiply that times the CPI in today's level, or the base level, as we also talk about it. So I'm going to say 2009 there, the first time that it was $7.25, and then we divide that by the CPI in the original year, in the year that we are comparing, that we're trying to adjust prices for. So when I press enter here, we can see that in actuality, if we adjust for prices, if we adjust for the fact that prices have increased, in 1938, that 25 cents was actually the equivalent of a $3.80 minimum wage in 2009. I've got that formula in there, so I'm just going to apply this down. It would be the exact same formula for all of these, and I'd encourage you to go out and just calculate it by hand real quick a couple of times just to know that you've got it down. And if you'll pay attention to this chart, you're going to see it update. And this red line shows us the real minimum wage in 2009 base year dollars. And this paints a very different picture of minimum wage laws in America, particularly at the federal level. And I don't do this to support or detract from it. There's a lot of different debates that go on around minimum wage, both in economics and politically as well. What I want to do is give us a little better data as far as what's actually going on with minimum wage. So we can see that it has increased in real dollar terms. And here this is corresponding to this part in green. Anything that is over $7.25, what it is currently set at today, I've marked in green, and you can see basically from 56 all the way through 1982, individuals were making more in real terms in the minimum wage than they would be today. And in fact, we also see something else over here, which is that the minimum wage in real terms, this blue line is the actual nominal amount, what it's actually set at in law. But in real terms, because you can purchase less goods with that $7.25 now than you could in 2009, it's actually worth a little bit less, and this goes down to $6.59 in real terms for 2013 or 2014 there. So it just gives us a little better picture of what's going on with minimum wage across time and history. There are times in which we've had higher minimum wages than we currently have in real terms, and I think that it helps to have that debate and have some of these tools and adjusting for inflation to understand it a little bit better in our arguments.